Today we're grilling chicken wings on our Weber Kettle. I'm also going to show you 3 homemade sauces that I love on my wings. I normally use my pellet grill for everything, but I think chicken wings taste a lot better over charcoal with a little tiny hint of hickory.
Dump your chicken into a strainer and run some cold water over it. I like to rinse my chicken to get those factory juices off. Dump your chicken onto a baking sheet lined with a paper towel and then with another big bunch of paper towels to begin drying off your wings. This step is boring but necessary to create a crispy wing. Excess moisture on the skin will take longer to get crispy on the grill. We're placing our chicken onto a wire rack to make seasoning easier. And for all the haters, I do wash my hands before I touch the seasoning bottle. Today all of our flavor is going to be coming from our sauces, so we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of SPG on the wings.
For this next step right here, I want to let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. Every time I watch a chicken wing video on YouTube or any kind of chicken video that has smaller pieces of chicken, I always see people individually flipping the chicken pieces over, and that just takes a long time and it's a little bit tedious. So if you want to make this process a little bit faster, I want to show you guys what I do. The easiest way to do this is to have an additional wire rack that you use for your chicken. Place it on top of your chicken and then just flip it over real fast, and then now all of your chicken is flipped over at one time, and you can go ahead and season across the other side. This will require you to have 2 chicken racks. So if you don't have them at home and you don't know where to get them, I have some links down in the description. You can go ahead and click those. It'll take you to Amazon. You can buy those. It's gonna help you out, save you time as well.
Place the wings in the fridge for 1 hour to air chill. This will help the skin get crispy.
When the wings are done air chilling, I'm gonna show you how to grill them. But first, we are gonna make 3 homemade sauces. The first sauce is gonna be a spicy Korean sauce using some gochujang.
Add 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, followed by a 1/4 cup of honey to our pot. Then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of gochujang, which is a spicy Korean chili paste. Then add a few garlic cloves and a tablespoon of grated ginger. Turn the stove to medium-high heat and mix thoroughly until this starts to simmer. Then we're gonna let it cook down for a few minutes to reduce.
Second up, we have classic buffalo nonetheless with some homemade blue cheese that I'm gonna make.
Turn your stovetop on to medium-high heat and drop in a 1/3 cup of butter. Once melted, we're gonna add in a 1/2 cup of Frank's RedHots and mix well. The butter wants to stay separated from the hot sauce, so you'll have to mix for a bit. I make my blue cheese by adding a 1/2 cup of sour cream and a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, followed by a tablespoon of lemon juice and a pinch of salt and pepper. Mix this together until it becomes smooth and creamy, which is going to take about 30 seconds. Now we're going to add in 3 to 4 ounces of blue cheese and mix together thoroughly. This part is completely up to your taste buds depending on how much blue cheese you can handle. When I mix the blue cheese, I like to smash the blue cheese into tiny pieces to make the flavor more pungent in the dip. This will make the flavor more rich when dipping your wings. I'm a true junkie at heart.
And then we have some homemade sweet barbecue sauce.
For our barbecue sauce, we'll be using 2 cups of ketchup, a 1/4 cup of honey, a 1/2 cup of water, and a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. Then we're gonna add in some seasonings, which I'll have in the description below, followed by a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a splash of mustard and a dash of Worcestershire sauce. Turn your stovetop on to medium-high heat and begin to mix. There are a ton of ingredients, so you'll want to mix this for several minutes while this sauce warms up. We want to get the sauce up to a simmer, and once we have that, we'll turn our heat to medium-low and let cook for 15 minutes.
Now that we have all of our sauces made, we're gonna set the sauces aside on our countertop, and then we're gonna put our blue cheese in the fridge. At this point, our hour is up, so we are gonna take the wings out of the fridge because they are done air chilling, and we're gonna set them on the counter. Now it's time to go outside and get our grill started. So for those of you that aren't super experienced with Weber kettles and how to use them and how to control and manage temperatures, I'm gonna show you guys a few things that I do when I'm smoking and cooking on my grill. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make my starting layer. Coals have to be touching when you're grilling, otherwise they'll go out. So I'm gonna start off by just making my layer, and then I'm just gonna kind of backfill in here, start placing these in here, and we're gonna make a couple rows of these. Just gonna throw these on top here. And like I said, I'm gonna use about 30 of these. I'm not really counting, I'm just eyeballing and guessing, but the goal here is to get all of the heat in this back corner. That way when we place our wings right here, it's sort of like an indirect cooking zone that we've set up. And I'm thinking that that's probably plenty of coals to get the temperature that I want. So make sure that these are all nice and tight in this back corner over here. Gonna position them exactly the way that I want them. And I'm thinking that that's good. We're gonna call that good right there. Now we're gonna take some lighter fluid, get a good little douse over all these coals. Then ideally, we're gonna let it sit for about 1 minute. Now I'm gonna take this grate and set it over the top. Go ahead and remove this. So now I'm just gonna take my lighter, take a few different spots. Just gonna get that set in there. Now, all these coals are gonna be lit. I'll show you what they need to look like when we're ready to close it up and do the next step. So as you guys can see, our coals are nice, white, and hot right now. It's been about 15 minutes since we put those coals on there. I have this wood chunk. I'm gonna throw it on there right now, just like that. And our goal right here is to get this little piece of wood chunk combusted. So as you guys can see, this piece of wood is fully combusted now. That means that we are good to get a lid on this. And I'm gonna be putting the section of the lid that has the open and closey thingy, the vents, on the opposite side of where my coals are at, because this is where our wings are going to be. So it's going to create a nice convection. Let's give this about 5 minutes to come up to temp and we'll put our wings on. So as you guys can see, we're rolling at about 425 degrees right now. That's perfect. Really, I'm aiming anywhere from about, 475 to 425, anywhere in that range for my wings. This part we're gonna have to do really quick, and what I like to do, I like to take all my really big pieces and I like to set them closest to the fire, which is typically gonna be your drums. The closer to the fire, the hotter this is gonna cook. So now all these little guys we could just throw in this back here. And you want to do this as fast as you possibly can, because as we have this lid open, these coals are going to get hotter and hotter. We don't want them to burn out that fast. So let's go ahead and put this big boy right there. Let's get all these little ones filled in on our grill. And now let's go ahead and get this lid back on ASAP. Now this cook should only take about 45 minutes to an hour, but these wings do go fast. So I'm gonna come back out in approximately 20 minutes. I'm gonna check my temperature, make sure everything's looking okay in there, and maybe rotate a few pieces if need be. But other than that, that's it. I'll see you guys in 20 minutes.
About 25 minutes later, we're sitting around 155 degrees. I like to sauce my wings at this point, so they have a good 15 to 20 minutes or so to really get caramelized. You can grill these until they're all the way done and then sauce them at the very end if you like your wings wet. I like mine a little bit drier on the exterior and a little bit more sticky because that sauce got caramelized on there. All of this is up to your personal preference. A pro tip if you're gonna sauce these while they're on the grill would be to put them into separate little piles like I'm doing right now. This is gonna save you a little bit of confusion in the long term. After your wings are all sauced, I like to spin my grill grate so the wings are directly over the coals. This will make them finish really fast and give the wings a nice char. About 15 minutes later, some of our wings are hitting that 185 degree mark. This is the lowest I like to take my wings off at. My personal favorite is going a little bit above 190 degrees. I think that they pull off the bone much easier that way.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the favorite part of my video where I get to eat these yummy, delicious wings. Total time this took only about 15 minutes. After I glazed these, it took about, 10, 15 minutes, and I pulled them off really just at a random time. I know some of them were around 175, 185. Some of them, the little tiny ones, were up around 190. So I have 3 flavors today. I have my spicy Korean, I have my barbecue, and I have my buffalo. Buffalo is by far my favorite, so I'm gonna eat that last with our homemade blue cheese. But since we have 2 spicies and 1 sweet, I'm gonna go with the sweet first, just so that way, my spicy taste buds, you get what I'm trying to say. I don't wanna mix them. Let's go ahead, get one of these sticky barbecue wings. Oh man, I'm so excited. Let's go. So as you guys can see, all the meat comes right off the bone. There is the perfect amount of smoke in these wings. I'm telling you, you only need a tiny little strip of the hickory wood right at the beginning. The smoke flavor in there was almost so subtle that it just becomes like a part of the flavor of the wing rather than like the biggest tone, if that makes sense. So without further ado, let's move on to the spicy Korean. I'm really excited to see how this turned out. And I'm a flat guy, as you guys can see. I'm going for all the flats. That's just what I like. Let's go. That spicy Korean flavored chicken wing is absolutely out of this world. That gochujang, that spicy Korean chili paste is so good. It has so much like rich flavor along with just like a really healthy spice. Sometimes like Frank's hot sauce, you get like that like vinegar taste. This spicy taste just tastes very like earthy. Like you could tell that it's from a lot of chilies and different things like that that make up that spiciness. So without further ado, we're gonna introduce my blue cheese. Look at how nice that is. It's thick, because it's been in the fridge for a while, but it's still runny enough to where, you're not just gonna pull out straight chunks of that blue cheese. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of a drum right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a nice little twist, and look at that. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That is a chicken wing to me. Let's go. Let's go ahead, just drop that flat in there. I like blue cheese that much. I love blue cheese, especially on buffalo. The flavor of this buffalo is phenomenal. I got the recipe from Frank's website itself. I know a lot of people like to put in garlic and some chili flakes, different types of seasonings and stuff like that. Me, I'm just a two-step guy. Butter, Frank's Red Hots. It already has that vinegar tones in there. There's already a great flavor with the Frank's Red Hots. And you just smack it with a whole bunch of blue cheese. That buffalo sauce is just so good. Let's go. If you want to learn how to make another great, amazing chicken recipe, you can click this video right here. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever time it is when you found this video. And I'll see you in my next buffalo chicken wing. See you guys.